Boston Neighborhood Network and the Boston Foundation present My Summer in the City. My Summer in the City is a story about the people of Boston creating positive change in their own backyards. The Boston Foundation has donated $710,000 to keep parks open, local organizations active, and communities thriving during the summertime. Strong, safe communities will ensure a brighter future for our youth, tomorrow's leaders. One of today's leaders, Robert Lewis Jr., has been a passionate advocate for urban issues over the last 3 decades and now takes action as the Vice President of Program at the Boston Foundation.
The initiative really started off as a summer safety strategy. You know, when you start thinking about this generation of young folks, you know, there's the violence. And part of that is not just the violence per se, it's the trauma and it's the effect that goes along with this. And it was a couple of years ago, we started looking at it in a different light. Richard Ward had this idea of like we needed to do more in our city. It was around the community taking more ownership, the community taking responsibility, and actually how do we rid the word safety, but really turn around and it's about celebration. And that's where we came up. It was about My Summer in the City, which meant it was inclusive, it was owned by everybody, and that our focus could be much more on open space, parks and playgrounds, and investing in communities and community leaders that were going to do events that were serving children, youth, and family.
What this is all about is city kids having as good a summer and as good opportunities as any kids anywhere. And thanks to all of you, that's going to happen.
We open up the doors 3 nights a week from 8 to 9, feeding anybody and everybody.
Our young folks are also really having to struggle with this whole idea of hope and understanding that why it's important for them to get their education, why for them to know that there is a generation that believes and that's really committed to folks. We're going to have to get even more to the grassroots, to those folks that are out there that know these kids better than anyone, and ensuring they get the resources and the support to do that.
My name is Lisa Smith. I'm the Kids Cafe coordinator, and I've been at the West End House for 6.5 years. When I first started, I was feeding about 150 to 175 kids, and now it's up to about 300. My biggest accomplishment here has been getting kids to really enjoy fresh fruits and vegetables.
Since we've had My Summer in the City, I've definitely seen more people come involved with the West End House and more kids coming in because they'll hear, like, they could be at the park and they'll hear it and they'll be like, wow, that's really cool, like, what's going on?
I would love to figure out that all parks and playgrounds throughout the city are activated. And again, it's small dollars making big impact. Maybe we need to do a few more citywide type of events that really convenes the different neighborhoods to come together for a major citywide activity, because there's power in our communities from how things are happening in East Boston or the North End, but how are things happening in Allston and Brighton or Roxbury and Dorchester?
My Summer in the City's plethora of engaging activities were attended by thousands of individuals. They experienced what every kid deserves, a summer of fun.
Today we're taking over the Strand Theater for One Night Only Volume 2. We are a artistic artist collective, what you say?
A collection of different kinds of artists of all different types.
And we're all from different parts of the city, so coming together like this and on one stage is definitely our mission and our accomplishment.
Today we had a very successful career and resource day, bringing jobs and job opportunity and job information to the neighborhood.
So tonight's Cultural Night is part of the My Summer in the City initiative. And so Cultural Night at the West End House is actually very special to us. We pride ourselves at being Boston's most diverse after-school program.
Yeah, this is our annual roller hockey tournament that's funded by the Boston Foundation, and it's sponsored by the East Boston Athletic Board.
We're doing a music-themed arts and crafts night on the Prado with Becca, with myself. And we've got a number of activities set up for the families and children that live in the North End, and also for any passerbys going through the Prado. We're right on the Freedom Trail.
We have a lot of kids that are playing football. We have a lot of younger kids that may not be old enough to play football, but they come out here, they watch, they learn. We have young ladies out here that cheer for us on every level. We also have parents that come out here and participate.
Organizations like these do not just exist to be taken advantage of. They consist of people who are motivated to help on a real level and make a positive impact on a child's life. Many of these summer staff members have suffered similar hardships, and the bond between those who wish to help and those who need help most becomes a symbiotic relationship.
I always had a problem with the love with my father. I felt as though he loved drugs more than me, so I wanted to make him proud in any way I could. So I tried to do it by doing what he was doing, and that was the wrong way to go. Me and my father are best friends today. My father's accepted Jesus Christ into his life. He stopped selling drugs after 40 years of selling drugs. Not only am I free from 23 years of addiction, my father's free from 40 years of drugs and addiction, and we're best friends today. And that's some of the things that happen here at Teen Challenge.
When I was 19 years old, I found myself sitting, in the Ash Street prison system, and I received a letter in the mail, and I never got any mail in jail. A lot of trips to jail at this point. No one ever wrote me. All the friends that I thought I had, they really weren't there when it counted. I opened up that letter, and that letter, the opening line said that God has a plan for your life. I know you don't believe this, but God has a plan for your life. I read the rest of it, and it was my father's personal testimony. He was actually in the program of Teen Challenge for about 12 months at this point. And he had just gave me his testimony. Some of the stuff I knew, some of the stuff I didn't know. But at the end of that letter, I said, at least my dad has his life together.
Everyone was tired of putting their trust into me because I would take advantage of what they did. And when I realized and seen how I didn't have anyone around me, I really see myself for who I was and where I put myself. And that's when I really was like, wow, like I need to do something, because if I don't change now, I'm gonna find myself 30 years down the road doing the same thing, except now I might just have kids that I can't even take care of. And it really shook me up, and I knew that's not what I wanted to be on down the road.
One of my passions I have now as coordinating the drug awareness team for Teen Challenge is we go to stores, we raise money for the Ministry of Teen Challenge, but that's not really what it's all about. We need money to survive and to help the community, to get people off the streets, but we're out there and we're looking for that one lost soul, that one person that may need freedom from addiction.
Growing up, I was always looking for a brother, an older brother that could, show me the ropes, teach me how to get better in basketball. I was always looking for that when I was younger, so I wanted to come back to the Weston House, and I wanted to do the same for everyone else.
When they first introduced Eric, me and him really didn't talk that much and stuff like that. And then one day I was just shooting around playing basketball, and then after one of the games he came up to me and he was like, if you really trained hard and stuff like that, like you could really be somebody on the court. And just coming from the way I grown up, I never really had someone to tell me stuff like that, you know what I mean?
I went through some tough times, and I started getting really down and depressed, and you lose a lot of confidence, and you lose a lot of who you are and whether people actually do care and stuff. And so being here, you realize, all right, I can rebuild myself, and there are things that I'm good at, and there are things that I'm able to be good at, and that I can do something. And I definitely became more confident through singing, and I didn't sing until I came here.
This particular basketball tournament is called the Melvia Wright Scholarship Tournament. And that started because approximately 15 years ago, one of our residents' mother was murdered, and he wanted to honor her memory doing the kinds of things that she always loved to do.
It's a privilege to come here with our Teen Challenge and be a bridge with the Boston Foundation and reach these young youth who have no one.
The Boston Neighborhood Network serves the greater Boston area with local programming by local residents. Their youth crew is tasked with videotaping, editing, and presenting this documentary as another part of the Boston Foundation's grant. The members of the youth crew included Juan, Sankara, Ashley, Rudra, and Daniel. Under the guidance of Nick Dulcinos, Justin Maloney, Jonathan Rizzo, and Curtis Henderson Jr., the youth crew learned techniques applicable to their passion for filmmaking.
Hi, I'm Ashley Lewis, and I'm a consultant here at BNN. In the My Summer in the City program, I participated as an editor, a scriptwriter, and film assistant. My overall experience this summer has been challenging and fun.
If there is one thing that we did do this year that I'm very excited about, is that we expanded My Summer in the City into Lynn, we expanded My Summer in the City into Cambridge, and My Summer in the City into Somerville.
Boston Foundation is helping the Community Minority Cultural Center reach out to everybody in Lynn, such as the youth that's here that range from ages 5 through 19, and also the adults that come to this event.
I think in the future we have to have a concept like this that is really year-round, that you can activate programs in our parks, in our community centers, Ys and Boys Clubs throughout the year.
Boston Foundation's My Summer in the City program left a lasting impression on the lives of thousands of individuals and will continue to ripple through Greater Boston's community for years to come. The children involved will look back on their experiences and provide support to those in need. They have developed relationships, fostered creativity, and above all, had fun. As time rushes forward and children continue to grow into adulthood, they will be able to look back on a simpler time to a summer that touched their lives and their hearts. A summer in the city they'll never forget.